welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. Sister Kate and I are on another road trip. And the shooting that happened in Texas at this church, terrible thing, right? There's a high kill rate. 27 people dead, is that what it is? And 20 injured, or vice versa? I mean, you know, 40 people plus hurt, and many of them killed. Little church, right? Not a mega church or anything like that. Information still coming in, much misinformation and trolls out there just putting bogus stuff up on the internet. They're pretty sure they know who it is. That weird little dude, you know, was kicked out of the Air Force and whatnot. I guess my understanding is, which is subject to change, he started shooting from the outside of the church, worked his way across the front, down the side, then came back up and went inside the church, shot people. Not a bad technique, you know, if you're in a tight little church. That church actually looked like Round Prairie Community Church. You know, bullets will go right through that thing, and if it's a crowded church, you're hitting people. And so picture yourself inside that church when bullets start coming through the walls. You have no idea who's doing what, how many people. Now you've got injured and dying people that you've got to deal with. And then the guy came into church, and I guess when he came out, somebody had seen, heard the commotion, and engaged him in a rifle fire. Something to think about there. Well, I guess we'll get to some lessons learned. And then he took off, the bad guy, and they chased him in their car, and he ended up dead on the side of the road. Number one, stuff happens. You never know when it's going to happen. You better be right with your maker, you know, now, because you just don't get the pick. You know, you'd think going to church in a little town in Texas would be a pretty safe activity. But, you know, stuff happens. So get your affairs in order, you know, be ready as to the degree that you can to meet your maker. What else? First aid. Yeah, I have no idea how many people can or could have been or were saved by the first aid skills of the uninjured or the other injured people in there. But first aid is a real thing, and knowing how to stop severe bleeding and things like that is good. Have a plan for when things go sideways, you know, to defend yourself and those around you. Now, think about it. Everybody in that church could have been armed, and with that guy on the outside shooting in the initial part, wouldn't have done anybody any good. That's kind of a scary thought. I mean, you can't just start shooting blindly through the walls, right? Having a rifle. You know, a pistol is to fight your way back to the rifle you shouldn't have set down in the first place. Since it happened in Texas, the guy, the citizen with the rifle, will be held up as a hero. Had it happened somewhere else, they would probably try to crucify the guy or something. But the fact is, he had a rifle to make that long shot, and I guess he hit the bad guy. Having a rifle is good. I have two brothers and friends who are doing a rifle course. I'm going to do a video on that on YouTube here pretty soon. They've got a school set up to teach regular people how to operate a rifle like an operator, if you will. Having those skill sets, having the tool and then having the skill sets is important. We just recently at Shofar Mountain had Confirmed Zero Day, where everybody got their rifles out. We had to make sure we could hit what we were aiming at. Gives you confidence in your weapon, gives you confidence in your teammates. I had another point I wanted to make about this shooting. Oh, security, church security. Now, this church was a little church. You know, they're not at the level where you're actually going to have ushers outside keeping an eye on things, and evidently church had already started. So, of course, everyone's going to be inside. But you should still have a security plan for your church. I mean, a real plan that's been talked about. And Shofar Mountain just got a new venue where we're doing services. And one of the first things I did, this was before the shooting, one of the first things I did was implement a hasty security plan with a couple of the brothers. And I'm not going to go into that here, but we've got a plan. We'll have a better plan if we continue to meet there. But you need to have a plan, and it can't just be a one-of, you know, your own personal congregant person plan. It has to come from the top down. and it has to be organized. So think about that. A couple weeks ago we had the worst mass shooting in American history in Vegas, for which there's a lot of questions still out there. Watch your finger, sweetie, on the lens. And now we've had the biggest church shooting in history. And of course, what do the Democrats do? They immediately go to gun control. Hey, you know what gun control is? Being able to hit the bad guy from across the street with your rifle, like the citizen did, the good armed citizen. That's gun control. So, hey, we live in a strange world. Things are amping up. Trump is in Asia. I'll probably talk more about that later today when I'm done driving. I can actually look at you and think. But hey, mind your P's and Q's. Be ready to secure yourself. Be ready to render aid. All right, I'll see you out there.